locked up back there? Go ahead and put your hand behind your back. I'm gonna let you know in just a second when I get detained while you just be detained, okay? Okay. You don't got any weapons on you, right? Knives, guns, grenades, nothing like that? All right. So, you know your license is...
Nobody expected this. Not the fans, not the media, and definitely not the people sitting inside that courtroom. The moment GervontaDavis heard the final arrest verdict, the entire atmosphere changed in seconds. Cameras started flashing, reporters rushed to the exits, and people inside the courtroom say Tank looked completely stunned. For a fighter known for confidence, aggression, and fearless energy inside the ring, this was a side of GervontaDavis the world has never seen before. According to early reports, the courtroom went silent right after the judge delivered the shocking decision. Witnesses claimed Gervonta's expression instantly changed, and emotions began pouring out as reality finally hit him. Fans outside the courthouse were left speechless, while social media exploded with reactions, debates, and non-stop theories about what this means for his future. Some people are calling it the most dramatic moment of his entire career. What makes this story even crazier is the timing. GervontaDavis was already surrounded by massive boxing rumors, possible mega fights, and comeback talks. Many believed he was preparing for another dominant run in the sport. But now, everything could be at risk. Sponsorships, future fights, public image, all of it suddenly hanging by a thread after this shocking courtroom moment. And here's the part nobody can stop talking about. Insiders claim several people inside the courtroom were visibly emotional after seeing Davis react to the verdict. Even longtime boxing reporters admitted they had never witnessed Tank look this broken before. The internet is now split in half. Some fans are defending him, while others believe this could permanently damage his legacy. But the biggest question remains unanswered. What happens next for GervontaDavis? Is this the downfall of one of boxing's biggest superstars? Or the beginning of the most shocking comeback the sport has ever seen? Because after today, nothing around Tank will ever feel the same again.
Davis getting a heavy escort before bonding out of jail. Now some are asking, was this special treatment? Local 10's Leanne Motohong is outside the jail in West Miami-Dade with much more.
GervontaDavis was thought to be invincible for a long time. 30 wins, 28 knockouts, and an attitude that made people want to watch on pay-per-view. All of this is now hanging by a thread, though. A new arrest, a major breach of probation, and a judge who seems to have lost his cool. Davis's new legal problems have caused real worrying behind the scenes at Premier Boxing Champions PBC, where people think the boxing star may have to go back to jail. It couldn't be more wrong now. His rematch with Lamont Roach Jr. had already been pushed back, but now legal problems may mean it never happens at all.
Eyes, how different would that look?
Let me say it again.
Tank Roach versus Roach 2. In your eyes only, how would that look different?
Tank's most important fight might not be a title fight anymore. Getting out of jail might not be possible for long enough for him to join the ring again. According to reports, GervontaDavis was arrested in Florida on June 15th for allegedly hitting the mother of his children. It was said to have happened on Father's Day, a day that should have been peaceful, but instead became a scene that made sports news around the world. The accusations come at a very bad time, both because they are very serious and because Davis is still on probation from a hit and run in Baltimore that almost got him jail time.
A year ago, early in the morning on November 5th, this surveillance video captured the moment a vehicle crashed into a fence at Washington and Martin Luther King Boulevards. The vehicle was a Lamborghini truck, and Baltimore City police say the driver was boxer GervontaDavis.
As part of his term, Davis had to stay at home for 90 days and not go to a fancy hotel, an event, or on vacation. It seems that Tank did spend a lot of time at the Four Seasons downtown, though. The judge in charge of the case was very critical of the decision. Davis may have broken his probation totally with this second crime. A lot of folks in the boxing business say that his team is very worried. PBC sources say they don't know what will happen next because Tank could go to jail if the judge rules harshly. He could lose his freedom, but also his reputation, his momentum, and a rematch that people really wanted to see that would cost a lot of money.
We're working with.
I rest my case. ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the incomparable brother Ant McQueen.
The one and only Lamont Roach Jr., the WBA super featherweight world champion, has made a tough but determined choice. Roach was the one who pushed TankDavis to the limit in their fight on March 1st. He has stopped working out. Some people who are close to Roach's camp say that the boxer has officially ended his training camp. Roach was upset that the August 16th rematch was not certain to happen, so he thought that the fight in Las Vegas would give him a chance to finish what he started. A chance to give TankDavis his first real loss and make a name for himself among the best boxers. Roach, on the other hand, doesn't think Davis is serious about the fight or the problem. He has been very angry and said, "I just think he doesn't want to fight. Plain and simple." Insiders say that Roach is actively looking for a new opponent. From the outside, it might look like Tank is the one avoiding the ring. But whether he meant to or not, his legal problems have already ruined this repeat. And Roach doesn't want to wait. He is riding a wave of confidence and momentum from their first fight, which ended in a controversial draw. Roach wants to keep up with the fast-paced world of fighting. The person Davis fights in the ring is not one of the most dangerous parts of this story. His probation is still under the control of the court in Baltimore. Now, this is the same judge who gave Davis 90 days of house arrest for hit and run. She made it clear that she wanted him to spend his time under the watchful eye of Calvin Ford, who had been his trainer and mentor for a long time. But Davis chose to stay at a fancy hotel downtown, which seemed to go against what the court said. When the judge found out, she threw out the deal and told Tank he had to do the rest of his time in real jail.
Man, I just want to say to let the people know that this judge is crazy, bro. This judge is, she locked me up because basically I bought a property. I did everything in my power to listen to my lawyers.
The stakes have been raised since new domestic abuse charges were brought against the same woman who initially claimed him but later changed her story. The same judge is back in charge, and people who know about the case think she is ready to give the harshest punishment possible. To put it simply, she is done giving GervontaDavis second chances. The boxing world might have to watch one of its most dangerous stars from jail if she does something serious. Besides the changes in the law, another important party is thinking about taking action. The WBA has been in charge of boxing for the longest time and has the most power. TankDavis currently holds the WBA lightweight title, but fans and insiders are publicly disagreeing with his decision to keep it.
The home detention people, I listened to everybody to the T. She's mad that I bought a property, that's why I'm sitting in jail. She said that I shouldn't have. She wanted me to be in an apartment, a one-bed apartment, you know what I mean? And I couldn't even, you know what I mean, take that, you know what I mean? She wanted me to stay in a one-bed apartment, couldn't have my kids and nothing to come visit me.
More and more people want the WBA to step in because he failed to protect his title against a mandatory challenger and may not be able to fight for a while because of legal issues. The suggested answer is to make Tank a winner during break. Lamont Roach Jr. would then be able to fight Floyd Schofield, who is currently the designated challenger for the full belt. The value of both athletes has gone up in the past few months, and they have both shown that they are ready for a world title fight.
You are a Gervonta TankDavis fight fan, and you've been waiting on fights to see GervontaDavis and you like his fight style, I want to introduce you to somebody that I would call the original GervontaDavis. He is a guy who is a Hall of Fame fighter out of Cincinnati, goes by the name of Aaron the Hawk Pryor.
Floyd Schofield is a boxer who has placed second in the WBA. I know that a lot of people who just like to watch boxing on these sites. One person with knowledge says Tank is blocking not only a fight, but also a whole division. If Roach versus Schofield is allowed to happen and Tank is put on hold, the lightweight division could change overnight and Tank could come back to a very different boxing world than the one he left. The legal situation with GervontaDavis keeps getting more complicated, but the boxing world doesn't stop moving. The rivals who have wanted a piece of Tank for a long time are also not. Floyd Schofield, one of the most talked about up-and-coming boxers, has made it clear that he wants to fight for the WBA title right now. Plus, Davis is probably not going to fight, so his team wants Schofield to step in and face Lamont Roach Jr. for the empty or temporary belt.
He said Tank ducked me for Lamont Roach. Wow. Now, as of right now, some of you guys are saying this. Who is Floyd Schofield? Because I know a lot of casuals be watching these channels. Floyd Schofield is a boxer who's actually ranked number 2 in the WBA.
Floyd Sr., Schofield's father and trainer, has said behind the scenes that Davis is not going to fight because Tank has been stopped in practice by less experienced opponents. Even though those claims haven't been proven, they have caused a stir and put more pressure on Davis's camp. Also, Turki Alalshik, the well-known Saudi promoter of the big boxing events during the Riyadh season, has said that he wants GervontaDavis to fight Shakur Stevenson. This is one of the most anticipated fights in modern boxing.
So yeah, I mean, Tank could have went that route, you know? But I think Tank wanted a bigger name other than a Floyd Schofield type of person. And Lamont Roach is not a real big name, but he's a bigger name than Floyd Schofield. I know somebody gonna say, bro, I don't even know Lamont Roach either. So what point you think you're making? The point I'm making is at least Tank is fighting an unknown champion as opposed to an unknown prospect.
Alalshik had already talked to both sides and was said to be trying to finalize the super fight within a year. But now talks are stuck because Davis's legal uncertainty makes everything look bad. The names Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Floyd Schofield are all rising stars with a lot of ability and momentum. But they're no longer just after Davis. They are getting ready to take over the whole stage if he is taken out of the picture. That's Tank's real risk. Not having a fight is not enough. It's about dropping out of the middle weight class, which is the most difficult in boxing. If he isn't around for a long time, the future might pass him by. Since Davis's legal problems keep making the news, some famous fighters have started to say something, and some of them aren't holding back.
Next, I told y'all who I want to fight. I can't keep saying the same thing. I already told y'all who I want to fight. The best versus the best. That should be my next fight. I told y'all I'm a dog. I'm a top level, elite level fighter. So let's make boxing great again. Let's put the best fighters in the ring with each other, and let's see who come out victorious.
The famous boxer and manager Oscar de la Hoya was one of the first people to say something. Davis had been a fan of his for a long time, but he was blunt when he heard about the arrest.
Again? Yeah, again. You know, I mean, hey. Look, I actually like TankDavis. He's a good, he's a good kid. He's a good fighter, a great fighter, actually. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, just get your... That's it, basically. Just shit, you don't hit women, man.
Conor Benn, a British prospect, went even further and said he would never fight Tank again. The way he sees things is similar to a growing worry in the sport. Davis's behavior outside of the ring might be too bad to ignore, no matter how good he is. Davis' reputation is being looked at again by other top fighters and commentators.
Lack of discipline. Lack of discipline. Is that what you want to put it down to?
Yeah.
More than lack of discipline. Yeah. It's vile. Do you know what I mean? I don't condone that at all in the slightest, so it's not got nothing to do with lack of discipline.
Sean Porter called the fight with Shakur a dream matchup, but he said Tank had to take care of business first.
The thing that surprised me about Shakur, he's strong. I think if anything, I mean, we're all strong, but and you guys might not like this, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. The thing we know about Terrence Crawford, when he gets in the ring, he's so strong here, there's nothing you can convince him that he can't do.
In a recent interview, Terrence Crawford asked if Roach could do what he did again and said that Tank would have to show that he still wants it. Right now he has to deal with something bigger than Roach, himself.
I still had Roach winning.
That's next.
Probably like 1 or 2 rounds.
Oh, my name's still heavy out here. People know me. Yeah, G, mediocre.
It was a close fight. Tank, I don't know. I think Tank just underestimated him. And he was just looking for him to be himself and get a knockout.
Shameful shit.
Tank is losing until he's not losing.
I actually like the way he fights.
All his fights, when you watch him fight against Leo Santa Cruz.
Vicious win.
Even, Ryan was doing good the first couple of rounds.
Clarissa Shields, on the other hand, thinks Roach will win the second fight because he is getting better. And Tank is the only one to blame for this distraction. What used to be a classic rivalry in sports has turned into a public argument about who should represent the sport and whether skill is more important than responsibility. Lamont Roach Jr. is still in good shape, but he is no longer waiting quietly while Tank deals with court dates and rumors.
I feel like Gervonta is a hell of a fighter, but he needs to get his mental together. When I hear some of his interviews and I see some of the stuff that he's saying, I can just tell that he's not in love with the sport no more. I can tell that he didn't get his just due. I mean, it was crazy to hear that he said he got evicted out of a house or something like that.
The fight is still going on. At this point, the date is still August 16th. However, Roach is not stopping his work. He wants to fight Floyd Schofield and has even suggested Devin Haney as a possible opponent. There is no longer any trust between Roach and Davis unless something happens soon. The plot could change for good. Everything was planned ahead of time, from revenge to replacement. Tank versus Roach was supposed to be a summer showdown, a story of salvation, and a fight that would live on. Now, though, one choice made outside the ring could ruin everything. Davis's career has already had a rough start, but this could be the final straw. He could face legal consequences, public anger, and even lose his title and respect among boxing's elite. The ban Lamont Roach is going on. Schofield is ready to take over. Fans are sick of hearing the reasons. Davis doesn't have many more chances to make things right. Chaos in court, judicial heat, and public pressure. Tank's comeback might be over before it even starts with this. What do you think? Let's move on. Is it time for the WBA to get rid of Tank Davis? Should Roach fight Schofield, or should the attention stay on Tank until everything is over? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and follow for more interesting boxing news.